Hey everybody, how are you? It's Rabbi Bregman. In the back you see a swimming pool over here. It's the 9 days for we Jewish people on the Jewish calendar. We're in the 9 days of the month of mourning for the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. So if you're somewhere you have a swimming pool, you cannot go in. But that's one of our mourning restrictions. But we can learn Torah. So I have a camera helper over here. Okay?
Hi.
Don't move the camera. So Abba, that's me, I'm going to share with you guys right now a little Torah insight from Short and Sweet on the Parsha. I want to talk about food, not just because it's dinner time over here, but I want to talk about food. So in my book, I speak on page 9. I have an essay here called The Battle at the Table. Now, what do we speak about over here? It's interesting if you look in the Torah that at the very beginning of time, God gave the Jewish people a commandment, or actually two, pertaining to food. God told Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, that from every tree in the garden you shall surely eat, but from the tree of knowledge of good and bad, don't eat. So you see, at the beginning of time, there are halachas, there are Jewish laws given pertaining to food. Now, why is that significant? So the commentaries explain that it comes to teach us that, therefore, since from the beginning of time, food and its laws were given, it means that there's certain opportunities for holiness and kedusha and sanctity, and on the flip side, challenge that's going to come with it for the rest of human history. Okay, that's point number one. Number two, I speak about in here that if you look in the Zohar, the book of Kabbalah, it often refers to eating as a time of war. Eating, when it's time to eat, a time to get down to the table, it's called a time of war. That's what the book of Kabbalah, the Zohar, refers to it. Why? Is it because there's countless kosher calories and a lot of tasty looking things at the table, and you're going to feel a war with your appetite, and you're, should I have that extra dessert and that extra bowl and plate? Is that what it's about? So the answer is no. Although that is true, it could be a time of war. The answer is because when we sit down to eat, there's always a battle inside of a person. Are we eating the food in order to derive energy and calories and nutrition from it that we're going to use to further our service of Hashem? Is that why we're eating? Is that at least part of why we're eating, beyond the fact that it's tasty? Or are we just basically there to fill our bellies with good tasting things? Okay, that's the question. All right, you're doing great. Okay, those watching the video too, but also I mean you. Okay, great. Okay, so that's part of it. Now, interestingly, many commentaries point out, I write about this here, that the word lechem, which means bread in Hebrew, and bread is the quintessential food, as we all know, has the same root as the word in Hebrew as the word milchama. Lechem and milchama. Why? Milchama means war, which fits in with the Zohar, how eating is a time of war, bread, war. That's because, number one, when it comes to making money and earning your bread, it could be difficult to earn a parnasa, to earn your livelihood. That could be, you could feel like you're going to war, guys, right? To make money in the business world in order to basically put bread on your table. That's one reason bread could be war. Doing great. I hope your arm's not too tired. That could be one reason bread is the root for war, but also it has to do for the war of Kedusha, the war of spirituality. One more quick idea. There's a classic commentary from several hundred years ago called the Chidah. And he writes in his commentary called Chaimas Anach. And in here I give the exact footnote for those of you that are learned at the level, thank God, that you can learn primary Torah sources in Hebrew. And he points out over there that the gematria, the numerical equivalent, I'm almost done. The gematria, the numerical equivalent in Hebrew of the word shulchan, which means table, a table like where you eat, is 388. And the Chidah points out that that's the same gematria as the phrase le Mashiach, to the Messiah, to the Messiah. So why is that? I'll bend down for you if your arm's tired. No, you stay up. You stay up. So why would to Mashiach, why would to Mashiach, to the Messiah, have anything to do with eating, with food? Like what's that about? The table to Mashiach for the era of the Messiah. What is that about? So I write over here, I would like to suggest an explanation for this gematria, because he doesn't actually necessarily suggest one. I sort of put one, and that is, if a person uses his tables and his mealtime and is eating in the correct manner, a person is able to experience a semblance of the Messianic era and future world right now. That behavior brings inestimable merit to himself and the entire world, and hastens the coming of the Messiah. Okay? Anyway, that's a little bit of insight for you from Short and Sweet on the Parsha. The basic the basic concept over there is that eating and food is to be used not just to fill our bellies, not just to quiet our grumbling stomachs, but at least we should have a little bit of what we call in Hebrew kavana, a little bit of a mental intent that when it comes to eating, that we want to uplift it and take the nutrition we get from it to have energy to in turn do something good for the world, for other people, and to further God's agenda in this world. So try to think of that a little bit when you eat. So yes, it's good, yes, it's tasty, but by the time you sit down to eat, ask yourself, since the last time that our Creator gave you some food, did you do anything positive with it? What have you done with his investment in you and the energy it provided you? Did you just putz around? Did you further his agenda? Something in between. Anyway, you hold this for me. Okay, this is Rabbi Bregman. I hope you enjoyed today's clip. Please give a like to this video on YouTube if you're finding it.
If you like my father's video, please remember to subscribe, give it a big thumbs up, and comment down below. And you can follow him on Facebook.
Okay, bye.
Bye.